Hey everybody, it's been a really long time. At least to me, it feels like it's been a really long time. And I really didn't want to post because I just was not in a state to be filming or anything. My last update was that I figured out what's going on with me, that I have vestibular migraines and 3PD. And that is the abbreviation for, I always get this wrong. It is persistent postural perceptive dizziness. Right. So a lot has been going on with me, as you guys know, and I withdrew from social media for a little bit as well, and now I'm back on Instagram and I'm posting on here every so often, and I've just been going through a crazy whirlwind of a roller coaster. And it's physical and it's spiritual and it's everything. And I really am stripping down my whole identity. I'm really stripping down and seeing who I am, unattached from my ego, unattached from the things that I do, which is part of the ego. And I just had a really big awakening a couple weeks ago, and it caused me to really take a break from a lot of things for a little bit. And I stopped doing kirtan. I realized that I wanted to take a break from my harmonium and just see. It's like I'm a blank slate and I'm allowing all these pieces of things that I do, and allowing it to come back in and see if it is going to be part of me going into the future. So it's kind of crazy to think that literally every single piece of me is being reorganized, and it feels weird because there's things that I knew myself to be, that I do the spiritual work, and I do kirtan, and I play the violin, and everyone has a story, right? Everyone has a timeline of the time they've been on Earth, and this awakening just swiped all of that off of my mind and is making me kind of look at everything and reevaluate. So it's freeing, and it's also scary, and it's good, and it's weird, and it's all of these things, but I just didn't want to post in the middle of that because I was figuring things out. I'm in physical therapy, as I think I said I was about to begin in my last vlog. So I'm doing that. The exercises are very gruesome, but I'm doing my best, and it's been crazy in my house right now, and my mom got a concussion as well, so she's dealing with a lot of the same issues as me. Another separate crazy story, but this all mixes into my main point, which is that I'm here now, and I want to talk about staying with yourself as you move. And like, if you have an experience where you are forced to look at everything differently than what you've been doing, it opens up a space for growth and processing, but it's also difficult. And by the way, I'm just noticing how glary these glasses are. These are my new gamma ray glasses that filter out certain spectrums of light, so it helps me with my migraines. So that's why I have these glasses on. I've really been going one day at a time, and I made a couple of really, really long posts on Instagram the other day, which basically was a version of what I'm telling you right now, which is that, I'm really just trying to be honest about what's going on, and continuing to do my work, but also like that could change at any point in time, and I'm allowing that to change if it's meant to. It's really, really weird place to be in right now. I had my friend Kaylee come over yesterday, and she made a flower essence for me. It was a really cool like reading consultation, and I feel really, really good after that. Just like everything about it felt really right, and she was, muscle testing me using my pulse to see like what felt good to my body and spirit, and I feel like positive about that. I've honestly just been like being very, very cautious about where I put my energy, and there's a lot of people that are out of my sphere right now just because I'm just going on this crazy journey right now, and I'm feeling into all the little tiny things that feel right. And if it's not a big yes, then it's a no for me right now. And so that's been weird. And just the fact that, I'm not able to really like leave my house and do things except for go to physical therapy has been an interesting thing too, because it's very cold and snowy here still. So being trapped inside really mirrors my internal experience, which is feeling trapped inside, both in my body and in my mind. And it's funny because a lot of people say to me like, well, you're the one that does the soul readings. Like, don't you know how to just, kind of go out and transcend all of this stuff? And the truth is that what I've seen in the past couple of weeks is that this is a much bigger deal than just transcending a physical ailment. This is what it looks like when you get hit with a big roadblock, which is called human nature. And human nature wants to preserve itself. It wants to preserve its body and its life. And when you are forced to, first of all, when you have a big honking intention for your life to transcend all of your blockages, and when that's your goal, then you're already setting yourself up for success, which sometimes can feel like failure because you get met with situations that continue to kill those parts of your ego, continue to, question you. Is this what you want? Is this what you want? Is this what you want? Blah, 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 blah. Can't talk. I'm scrambled right now. I'm trying to keep it together because my head hurts, but I want to vlog right now as well. So yeah, and if it's not what you want, then you can see where the blockage is. And for me, what I've been noticing is that I'm using all my energy trying to survive rather than to live. And I'm looking at all the places in my consciousness where I'm gripping onto life, where I'm looking for people to save me. Well, I'm also doing that work to help people that think that they need saving. That's essentially what I do. So you beat yourself up, right? Because you go, well, this is what I do for a living. I help people save themselves. And yet now, looking into myself, I feel totally lost. So here's where the multi-layered part comes in, because you're not just working on a physical level. You're not just working within this lifetime. You're working on all levels. And the soul has karma. We have karmic ties from multiple, from so-called past lives. It's not really past, but in speaking about it, because we are like linear thinking human beings, past lives, there are those karmas. And so, I think that has a lot to do with what's going on with me. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm really trying to accelerate in my life. And this is what happens when you have a big intention, is you move into it. doesn't make it easy at all. And I have been very cautious in, again, I said, like, surrounding myself with the right people, because this is something where you need people to go in there with you. You need people to meet you where you are at and support you in that journey when it is such a deep one, and it can take you out of the knees. And, you know, a lot of times I've said, you know, I'm not doing well and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, people send their prayers and their light and such, and I truly appreciate that. But it's a deep one. It is a very deep one for me. And I can only say that in so many ways. And, you know, if I have to reschedule a client, or if I have to not respond to a text, or if I have to do this or that, that's what I'm doing. And I honestly believe that as I move through this, and I know people, you know, think that it is true. I am strong, and I do know what's going on to a large extent. But again, you know, we're all human beings, and we all are going to feel this. We're forced to feel it. There's no escapism. I think it's funny when people, you know, they think that, you know, you can bypass it by just meditating, and you can bypass it by, you know, eating healthy. You can bypass it by, you know, taking herbs. You can bypass it by exercising. These are all tools, but at the fundamental baseline of these experiences, you know, it seems like there's a threshold in which you step in and you have to sort of disintegrate, you know, to be reborn. And I feel like that's one of these things that's happening right now. And, you know, it's just like, I'm allowing it. And I think a lot of people, well, like I said, it's human nature to push it away because you don't want to feel it. And that's what I've been doing. I've been doing that for so long. And I've been clutching on to all of these people and things to allow it to happen. And so being completely, you know, being sort of going through a death process in its own right, you know, it's like, it's good, but, you know, you need to allow people in a deeper way, and you need people to support you. You need people to tell you it's going to be okay. You need people to show you that you are on the path of light, even if you are somebody that is so confident in themselves. You know, you need people to be there and remind you and say, you're doing good. Just breathe through it. I've had to have people do that for me, and it's great. It's amazing. But I can't meet people on a superficial level anymore. I can't say just do yoga. I can't say just chant. I can't say, you know, do it if it makes you happy, do it. But you're not going to bypass all things with that. That's my interpretation. Of course, my own story, my own things are mine. They're not yours. So your story is going to be different. But that's what's happening. I had a really big experience, and I saw a lot of pieces of myself that I didn't want to see, but I asked for. So, you know, I've had a lot of light experiences. As you guys know, I channeled a book called Teachings from God. I have been in the state of oneness. I've seen and felt the light in its highest capacity that I could, and I know what it means to be connected. And so now I'm experiencing the opposite, and I'm going deeper than all of that in a way, and releasing all the things that are not going to support me going forward. And this is all preparing me for being of service to myself first, not just to everyone else, but to myself first. And then I think a lot of these things that I'm dealing with now are just going to, you know, go away and transform. And then I can be in the world in the way that I want to be. So this needed to be a long vlog, a long update. I have a lot to say and a lot to share. And Thank you guys for watching and commenting, and I'm going to close out with a little recording that I just made. I got some new gear the other day. I got a looping station, I got a little amp, and I've been playing around with it and having fun. So I'm going to close out with that, and please comment below, tell me how you're doing, and I wish you a lovely, bright day. Bye!